Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well wherever you are. I thought I would share with you today something a bit different. Well, for now different. I'm hoping it will become the norm. This is my first ever junk journal that I've made. Following on from my last video about finding a planner to suit me and not really being able to and deciding to make my own, I really wanted to work through all of the blank notebooks that I've got up in my shelf, which is a lot. I love collecting blank notebooks and notepads and journals and oh my goodness. But I also wanted to use up all the other sort of random supplies that I own. So I got inspired to have a go at making my own junk journal, and I thought I would flip through it today and show it to you. I haven't started working in it yet, and something that I thought would be a cool thing to do would be to show you all of my journals or pages prepped, and then also come back, obviously, however long it takes between now and me actually using it, and show you what it looks like, a flip through of it completed. Because I like to watch videos on YouTube of junk journals, but a lot of them are empty, and I really like to see the comparison between the unused and then the completed. So that's going to be my goal from here on in. So anyway, let's get started. So this is just a large paper envelope that I've used for the cover. It was part of a, you can probably see here, it says North Pole Special Delivery. It was part of a Christmas themed like letter to Santa kit, and I kept the large envelopes. They didn't get used and they were just sitting in my craft box, and I thought it would be really cute. Now I made this just to fit the envelope, but the envelope is quite flimsy, so this will be going into a traveler's notebook when I'm actually ready to use it. It could be used on its own, but I think just because the paper, and I'm pretty heavy and I carry mine everywhere that I go, it will go into a traveler's notebook, and this will fit into, I have what's called a standard wide, but I've done measurements and found that it's B6 basically. So this insert is pretty much B6 size, and you'll see it eventually when the time comes. So I've tied it closed with a strip of fabric, which I stapled on to the front cover here, and also through there, and then you can see the binding of the journal there. So inside the front cover, I slit that envelope to make this a pocket. So straight away, before we even get started, I'll pull this out. There's a little tab here, and it folds open. And what I did is I had some to-do lists that I've stapled together into a book, and it's got 3 pages because the notepad obviously was set out as now later someday. So I decided to make a little booklet out of that and just put a tab on it. Now, even though this says to do, because I'm planning to use this as like a planner journal combo, in my mind, I'm imagining that I'll have like my appointments on one side, my to-do lists on the other side, and any journaling I want to do on the back. That's how I'm imagining it in my head. But obviously, part of the fun adventure will be finding out when I come to using it whether or not that actually happens. So here's tucked in there, and that's the front cover. So inside the front cover, I have got a little pocket here, and this has just got a piece of ephemera that's a treasure map, which I could do some journaling or something on the back of. I'm not sure yet. Like I said, this is the first one I ever made, so everything's going to be an adventure, and it's pretty much just using up what I had in my stash. So he tucks in there. Now I've got a lace pocket behind it, and in here I've got a decorated paper clip, which I already owned. I'd been given that from somebody as a present a couple of years ago, and it seemed to match the color scheme. And this little notebook was actually one that I got in like a Heidi swap, something I bought from Spotlight that was Heidi swap, and it's just lined inside, and it's just got a couple of pages, so that will be in there. And I just had that on the front. I like the idea of having matching accessories for what I'm using, so I've sort of done that. So this is the first page of the actual insert itself. So what I did is I actually took 4x6 journal cards, and you can see underneath there, and I washi them together down the spine and used those to make my pages. So this one has just got some fabric which I stapled on to make a belly band, and then this note paper which I'll be able to write on, and I will be able to write on both sides of that. So that will be there. And then like I said, I haven't worked out exactly how this is going to be used yet. That will be part of the challenge when I set it up. And that's why I thought it would be cool to come back and show it to you after I've completed it, because I don't know what it's going to look like. So the next page, I glued down some lace. And then because I had the staples on under here, I put some washi over the top. And that was a tag off a tea bag with the string. And then inside I've got another fold out here. So this is a piece of note paper. This was out of a Kikki K Paper Lovers book. And then inside here I've got, it's a photo of Piper. I got a HP sprocket for my birthday last year and I absolutely love it. It's perfect. And then I used some post-it notes to make some like sections. And then here, this one's just a lined paper. And then obviously I left that plain on the back because I wanted it to be decorative to go into the pocket. So there's that. This is a doily here. I'm not sure if I'll write on this or not, or if I'll transform that or not, or whether I'll leave it decorative. I don't know. So over here, I needed an extra page, so I just took a photo because photos are 4x6. So this is a photo of Piper, and I used a brad over a paper clip, and then I stuck this little tag under, so I can actually, there's a paper clip under there that I can hook this into. And then this is a piece of fabric that I had made something, gosh, years ago, and I had it just stacked in my craft box. It was left over to make a tab. And then this is just blank note paper that I cut down for something else. So there will be that, and that just folds up and sort of pokes back under there like that. So that's there, and you can kind of see the brad underneath. So over this page, the back of the photo I just covered in an old book page and distressed the edges. And then this here is a pocket that I've made from the inside of an envelope. And then I've got here a piece of ephemera. This was actually a piece of writing paper Orion brought home from school. He's in grade 1 this year, so he's still learning. And I loved it so much, so I cut off the bit that he'd like scribbled on and it was blue, and I tea dyed it and sort of distressed it a bit to get that kind of cool color, and then stuck the kitty cat on. So that's just in that slip pocket there, and then on the front of the envelope, like I just sliced it and put that illustration on the front. I cut that out of a catalogue, and it had this really cool sort of indigenous illustration inside, which is why I wanted to show it off. And then I've just got these two little tea-dyed Kikki K papers, and, you know, once again, I'm imagining that I'll make some interesting way to use those. So they're just tucked into there like that. And then here also another little doily. This one's been tea-dyed as well. Now this page here is a half page. You can kind of see, I'll say half page, like a funny shape. And it actually is like a photo wallet that you get when you develop your photos, when you get them printed out at like the shops like Target or Kmart or whatever, and they put them in there to give them to you. So that's one of those. And I painted over it with some blue acrylic paint, but I didn't end up liking it. It went really sort of sticky and yuck. So I enjoyed using the photo wallet, but I didn't like the paint. I wouldn't paint that way next time, but that was all I had. I'm just using what I own, and that's what I had. So I stuck some fabric on the front, and then I've got this little fold out piece of paper. So inside, once again, I've got it sectioned off on each side with a to-do list, and then just a post-it note. So if I was using this as a planner, then I could put like scheduled appointments there and to-dos here, or like a bit of journaling, or I don't know. And like I said, I haven't worked out yet exactly how I'm gonna roll with that. So over the page, this is now the front of one side of the photo wallet, and that is just a transparent like vellum sticky note that I attached over the top of some scrapbook paper, so I can write directly onto that, and I can still see the pattern underneath. And then you flip that up, whoop. I'm going to shift this down a little bit, can you see? Yes. So here I've just got underneath some old notepad pages which I stapled together, just a couple of them. Yeah, there's only 2 there. And then just washi them down. And I also put some clear tape underneath. I find sometimes if washi doesn't adhere properly, you can use the clear tape underneath and then washi over the top, and then you can't really tell. So then here I've got Piper as a pirate and there's a little pocket here with another one of those like to-do listy papers there. So that's that little pocket. And the wallet, the reason I wanted to use this photo wallet is because it already came with these cool pockets, and I just thought that's really awesome because there's another one on the back here which has just got a piece of double-sided scrapbook paper, and I decided to use that as it was because it already had lines on it. I'm assuming that you'll be able to see that. So that's just poked into that pocket there, and then like I said, the acrylic paint has made it a little bit sticky, unfortunately. And then underneath this flap, I know, how cool is that, right? I've got just stuck down a piece of coffee dyed paper that I can just write on, and then I made a little slip pocket with just a tag inside. So yep, that's the whole, and the photo wallet was just like that, and I was like, I can't let that go to waste, it's too handy. So then this page here, I'd used a brad to hold on a paper clip, and you can see it swings there, and inside, out of one of the Kikki K Paper Lovers books, were these little fold up, it's an envelope, but you're meant to write on it and just fold it up and send it, but I was like, nah, I'll be able to write on both sides of that. So he folds up and he just pokes onto that. And then down here I have this little piece of ephemera that has another one in there. Because you know, I didn't want to glue these down, because if I glued them down so that I could fold them out, I'm kind of gluing over the pretty picture, so I didn't want to do that. So it had to be something that I could poke them in and out. So that was that page. And then over here on this page I've got another couple of slip pockets. So I stuck that over the brad, and it's a little bit, yeah. So here, this is an old newspaper printout. I printed them out. You can go Googling things like that, and it's from 18th of August 1948. And fun fact, this here, this for sale, was actually my great-grandfather's poultry farm that he was trying to sell. So there's that little piece of history, and then it's blank on the other side, and I can obviously write there. So there's that in the back pocket, and then in the front slip pocket here, I love that little rabbit illustration. I got these from my grandma before she passed away, and they've just got this beautiful gold foil, and yeah, anyway. There's a little piece of cardstock, and I had these to-do list sticky notes that I've just stuck a few of them. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there, just to make a little notepad on that. So that one's in there. So then on this side, I had this sort of journal card that had this sort of saying in the middle, but I found this really cute photo of Piper, and I matched the circle and cut her out and stuck it on, and I really loved it. And then I was like, well, now how do I write on this? So I've got this tiny little stuck on thing with this little really, really widgy bit of paper folded up and stuck in there. So that was a classic. I had this beautiful layout, and then I didn't want to cover it up. So, but that's okay, because I've got lots of writing space on here, and it'll work out one way or another. So then you can see here, this was the middle. You can see, if you look, how I washied the journal cards together and used that to create the spine. And it's holding pretty well. I don't know how it would go if you had like 1,000,000 pages, but this one doesn't, this signature doesn't have a lot of actual physical pages. It just has a lot of stuff to make it chunky. So it's doing okay. So over the side of this page, I've got now, this folds out that way, and there's a little bit of like lined paper there, so I had like a half page left over. And then this one folds out this way to make a hole, and then it also folds that way to make some writing space here. And then I've got this journal card there as a pocket with another one of those little note papers stuck in. I have like pads and pads of these from planners, and they were just blank and white and horrible. But once I like tea-dyed them, and I don't know if you can see that, but there is actually a very faint gold glitter shimmer on that. Once I tea-dyed them, they're awesome. They fit. They're so perfect. So that's that page. Over here, this is the other side of the photo wallet. So I've got a belly band, a fabric belly band here with some more printed out photos of the kids. This one's very Piper heavy, actually. so that one's got that one there, and then that's the blank note paper there. So that slips in there. And then I've also got a journal card underneath, as you can kind of see, with a unicorn on it, and a little tag to pull out with another one of those. And that one somehow got a little bit of pink on it. I'm not sure how, but I really liked that effect. So he just pokes in there. And then once again, this flips up. Zip. Move that down a little bit. And there's Piper again. So this opens up, and it's a booklet. So I put some tea-dyed grid paper into that. So there's a few pages in there. And then instead of giving it a back cover, I just had like not the right size. So I glued it onto the flap, and I just decorated here. And then, oh, there's Orion. I was starting to worry he wasn't going to make an appearance in this one. I just grab my photos at random, so I don't always pay attention to if I'm keeping it even or not, to what kit I'm using. So there's that bit there on that flap. And then down here, this is Orion and Piper. They were looking at a book together. You can't really see that, but I just thought it was so cute I had to snap a shot. And then once again in this flap there is one of those. And then same as the other side, there is a piece of, ooh, my page, my washi. Don't do that. That would be funny, wouldn't it, if my pages fell out? Here I am saying the washi's holding really well, except for on that one page. Okay, pretend that didn't happen, everyone. So here I've got, again, another lined journal card tucked into there. Alright, so once you lift the flap, oh, if I tuck that back in there properly so I can actually lift the flap, that would be better, wouldn't it? Once again, I did the same thing as the other side, bit of paper, and then a tuck pocket with a journal card stuck in it. A journal card, a tag, I should say. The right terminology. Yep, so that's that. So then over here, I've got on the back just a belly band that I secured with some brads. And then in here is a little envelope. And then inside the envelope is another one of these little coffee dyed or tea dyed. Some are tea and some are coffee, and I can't remember which is which. In there. That one got a little bit baked in the oven, and it had this really cool burnt effect. So I really like that one. So that's in there. Then doily. Then over here, here's my boy. Here he is. He didn't miss out after all. So I had this photo. I cut it down to half size and turned it into a pocket and backed it onto this really pretty like cotton fiber paper. And then I just made two little, these were post-it notes that I just stuck together back to back and poked those in there. I probably wouldn't call them tags because they're not tagged, but you know what I mean. So then on this side, I've got a pocket here. These were pockets, self-adhesive pockets I got from Aldi a couple of years ago, and they're really, really pretty, but I've got a whole heap of them and I didn't know what to do with them. So there's my baby girl when she was so tiny and cute. So here I've got one of these, and then that is me and Marshy. So I made two of those. Just I really liked how they turned out on that size paper, so I did that a fair bit. And then the other side of the gold doily. And then here, this one has got a belly band here. This actually should be, I made this a double belly band, so I've been playing with this and put it back in the wrong spot. So envelope and a little tag, pull out, and another one of those little bits of paper that I really like. Ta-da! So folds up in there, slips back into that, and goes in the top pink one. And then underneath I have got another cut off of the blue writing paper with a bit of Orion's, you know, obviously that one didn't work out. And I just decided to leave that there for posterity, and it's got a faint glittery sheen. Don't know if you can see that. When we did the tea and coffee dyeing, and I say we because Mum and I did it together because it makes sense to pull your resources. She had this like cool like gold glitter, almost like hairspray, and we just randomly sprayed a few of the sheets before we let them dry. So some of them have got this really cool gold glitter sort of accent on them, which is super fun. So that's in there. And then on this side, I really liked the beautiful design on this journal card and I didn't want to cover it. So I just used a vellum sticky note and just put it over the top. So I'll be able to write directly over that without actually upsetting the design itself. And then I've got here an clear acetate pocket, which was it. I was intending for this to be the front, which is why it's decorated. But whenever you flip through the book, you come to this as the front first. So technically it's part of this page because it's attached to this page, but it doesn't kind of work that way. Anyway, in the pocket I made a little book with some note paper that I cut down to size, and you saw the other top part of that earlier on. So that just sits in that sort of cellophane bag. And then this is the back cover. So I've got here another journal card ephemera thing, like what I had on the front. And then in the lace pocket, here is a little booklet I made out of an envelope. It's got my Nana for Piper for her birthday this year when she turned 4. She loves shepherd's pie. So we went to my Nana's for lunch on her birthday, and Nana made a shepherd's pie and stuck candles in it, and it was hilarious. Anyway, so this is the front cover of the little booklet, and you can see the envelope is inside, and I left the window there and just put a little tag in it. And I haven't decided whether I'll colour in and cover up the fact that it's clearly an envelope yet, or whether I'll just leave it. Like I'm not sure, you know, whether I'll cover this stuff up or I'll just leave it. Well, I don't know. That's a decision I'll make when I come to use it. And then some just little note paper pages, which I once again washi down the middle to make them double spreads. And then in the back cover, another unicorn looking through the window. So that's that one. And then inside the back cover, same as with the front, I made another one of those, you know, now later someday little books. So that goes in there like that. And then that's the back, that's it. So this I made intending to be, as I've said before, planner, journal, memory keeping, everything. And that's the full size envelope if you want to see what that looks like. And I really love the way this turned out. I was really happy with how the book turned out. And then obviously all I have to do is come through now and actually fill it in and use it. So the next time you see this book, it will be completed. And we'll be doing a flip through of the finished product. So I'm really excited to see how creative I can get in turning a junk journal, I suppose, for all intents and purposes, into a proper, you know, planner, journal, whatever. I'm really interested to see the comparison between the blank and the complete. So yeah, anyway, thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed that. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye.